Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, whether you're joining me from the present or the future. Welcome back to another FutureFight Vanguard video. Welcome back to part 2 of the 2-part video released today because I missed uploading yesterday. So today we're going to be continuing on with, here we go again, the last time I have to say this, Infinideity Cradle. We did it. But it's V-BT07. We're going to be talking about the Nova Grappler God Hand deck today. So that will be the last deck of V-BT07, and then we'll be moving on to the next set on our hashtag Corona Catch-Up. So we're going to get right into the deck. If you guys haven't already, be sure to like the video, comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the video, or comment some thoughts that can help some others, because after all, the point of this deck is to, or the point of this series, sorry guys, I'm tired. I've been pumping out so much content the past few days, like, I'm exhausted. I need to sleep for like 2 days, but I want to catch up for you guys, so I'm, that's why I'm doing this. So, yeah, it's all gonna be worth it in the end. But, yeah, I don't even know where we were. We're just gonna get right into it. Be sure to check out our second channel, Let's Plays Animes, and also be sure to check out the channel memberships located down below next to the channel. Use that big fat join button to check out our perks and stuff like that. But with that being said, let's get right into the deck. So, obviously, no new mechanics really to add to this. Nova Grappler is pretty much about a deck that multi-attacks a lot of times. Usually, sometimes they get an increase in power, or they have skills that restand other rear guards and stuff like that. So they are an Accel deck that is very threatening to you because they attack you a lot of times usually. And with the God Hand deck, now they make more use of front triggers by having certain effects that increase the power that you gain from a front trigger being checked, which are cards like God Hand, Fusing Striker, and Silver Fist. So we're going to get through all those cards, so let's get started with the head honcho himself, which is Fighting Fish Dragon God Hand Dragon. So it has dragon in the name twice. You guys know this card has to be swole. It has 2 effects. The first is a continuous Vanguard effect that says the power increase of front triggers revealed for your drive check is plus 10,000. So very important things to notice about this card's skill. It says drive check specifically, not damage check. So if you check a damage check front trigger, it's not going to go plus 20 to your front row. That would be OP. So it's only during your drive check, which is strong enough. And then also it has a secondary Vanguard effect that says when it attacks and it's on Vanguard circle, counterboss 1 and discard a card from your hand. And until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 1 drive. And if your opponent's Vanguard is also grade 3, this card gets plus 1 critical. So it's a lot of threatening pressure for your opponent, because your opponent can't just like 1 or 2 or even 3 to pass certain attacks, knowing that if you check a front, you'll just blow past all of that depending on what your board is. So your fronts could get pretty ridiculous, like up to like 20 plus 25k or higher that, I've seen them reach. So it's very difficult for your opponent to deal with that and deal with guarding that as well. So the fact that it gains a critical is like pretty much PG, or you're about to take 2 damage from this card. Moving on to our next grade 3, we have 4 Ultra Beast Deity Illuminal Dragon. Illuminal Dragon is a really good finisher for the deck, really good to force your opponent out if they're at 5 damage or something like that. It's also a very, very good rear guard, because when any unit hits, it gets plus 15k, becoming a 27k by itself, and on Accel 2 becoming a 32k by itself. So very important to use them in that way. But let's talk about its 2 abilities. First ability that I said it's good for finishing people off. When it's on Vanguard, once per turn at the end of the battle that your rearguard attacked and does not hit, you can counterboss 1, stand that unit, and it gets plus 10,000 power, and then you attack your opponent's Vanguard with that unit. So something I like doing is riding Illuminal, and if you have Kick Typhoon, it's a really, really good finishing combo for your opponent to be at 5, because it's really, really hard for your opponent to block accurately. Then its secondary skill is on Vanguard or Rearguard circle. When your other unit's attack hits, in general, hits anything, hits Vanguard, hits Rearguard, then this unit gets plus 15k power, which is really, really good, because you can sometimes just attack one of your weak Rearguards into their weak Rearguard, and then when you hit, then Illuminal Dragon goes off and gets plus 15k. So pretty easy there. Then our last grade 3 of the deck is 2 Powered Trooper Shing So what Power Trooper Shing does is it's really just a God Hand support card, but it can also be used with the Luminal Dragon. It doesn't lock itself into being used in any one way. So on Rearguard Circle, once per turn when it attacks, you can counterblast one and discard a card from your hand, and this card gets -1 drive until the end of the battle and can perform drive checks for the battle. So basically it would naturally gain twin drive. The fact that it gains -1 drive means that you're checking one card, so you're discarding one card to check one card. So you don't plus unless you get a draw trigger. However, it does give you another one of those chances to check a front trigger, so it's very, very good in that respect. Moving on to our grade 2s, we have 4 Fusing Striker. Fusing Striker has a similar first ability to God Hand, where it increases the power of your front triggers. However, it only increases the power of front triggers by 5k, not 10k. And then the second effect is when placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, look at top 5 cards from your deck. Reveal up to 1 Fighting Fish Dragon, God Hand Dragon from among them, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and if you added a card, then you have to discard a card. So very, very good because this searches top 5 for your God Hand, and if you don't already have it, that's a pretty solid-ish chance to get your hands on one to ride the next turn. Then we have 4 Kick Typhoon. Absolutely broken card, very, very good. So it has 2 abilities. The first one is Vanguard Rearguard when placed. If this unit is on the Vanguard circle or an Accel circle, basically, one of your units gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So very good to pump your units right before you're preparing to, go in on them to kill them or go in on them to do pressure to them. Extra 5k always helps. It could be the difference between you winning the game and you having your opponent barely scrap by and they have a chance for a comeback. Then its secondary rearguard ability is once per turn when it attacks. If all of your front row rearguards have if all of your front row rearguard circles have a rearguard on them, you can counterblast one and restand one of your other rearguards. So those units that gain a lot of power, whether you checked a front trigger or something like that, or you have a Luminal Dragon on the board and you activated its first skill already, kick standing anything is just very, very threatening. But there are also rearguards in this deck that already get big, such as the next card that we are going to discuss, Stylish Hustler. So kick is really good with those attacks because they're just really hard for your opponent to block all of this really big power numbers from your front triggers. So then we have 3 Stylish Hustler. Sorry guys, I told y'all I'm tired. But it has 2 abilities, really, really useful against control when it's Kagura specifically, or any effect that makes you retire a card, whether that be Royal Paladin's Blaster Blade, Shadow Paladin's Blaster Dark, just multiple things. It helps you get around control. So its Vanguard or Rearguard ability is when your other Rearguard is retired by the ability of your opponent's card, you can Soul Blast one and return that card to your hand. So I haven't been using Soul in this deck for anything. So having the Soul for Stylish Hustler definitely makes it worth it. Then its other Rearguard ability is when it attacks, this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of the battle for each card in your damage zone. So if we have 5 cards in our damage zone, this card gets plus 15, which is amazing because that's 24k attacker by itself. Then moving on to our grade 1s, we have 4 Starfighter Silver Fist. Starfighter Silver Fist has 2 abilities. First one is very similar to God Hand and Fusing Striker. It's actually the exact effect of Fusing Striker. It gives plus 5 to all front triggers checked on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. And then its secondary Vanguard only ability is when an attack hits a Vanguard, draw a card and discard a card from your hand. So I would say, why wouldn't they just let us draw a card? Because many clans have, this card or a version of this. But the reason that they don't let you is probably because it's God Hand and letting it plus too much would be too dangerous. Then we have 4 Gun Trooper Kleps. So Kleps, what it does is on Rearguard Circle, when your drive check reveals a normal unit, if your Vanguard is God Hand Dragon, you can counterblast one, return this unit, and then you can check one more drive that turn. So whenever you check a normal unit, you just want to fizzle it out with Kleps, and then make sure that you're protected in that way. Then we have 4 Grit Bingle. Grit Bingle has a very simple ability. When placed on Rearguard, you may reveal a front trigger from your hand and put it on the top of your deck. So this card is actually OP when you combine it with God Hand, because it guarantees that one of your 3 checks is already going to be a front. So your Rearguards are already getting big, so you already want to, have so much out on the board, such as God Hands, Fusing Strikers, Silver Fists, etc. Then moving on to our grade 0s, we have 1 Full Moon Muscle. This is our starter that draws a card when we ride upon it. We have 8 fronts, 4 draw, and 4 heal. We have 4 Turbo Riser, 2 Cannonball, 2 Blabber, 4 Twin Blader, and 4 Wall Boy. So with that being that, we're going to get right into the deck profile portion of the video. So we're going to load up God Hand 1. We're playing against Kagero. So like I said, when we started with a Stylish Hustler in our hand, which is very good. We attack Vanguard. He lets it hit, so we draw a card and discard a card. He does Berserk Dragon, draws a card, attacks us for 18. He crits us, so we take 2. We ride Stylish Hustler. We check a front. Our opponent decides to stay on grade 2 because he doesn't have a grade 3. However, he didn't. He tried to use air mode, and he couldn't use air mode because none of my rear guards were retired. And then he started shuffling for a really long period of time. I think it's because he's salty, to be honest. But we ride God Hand here. We use Grip Vingle to place a front on top. We check a front. We use Klep Skill. And we all just check one front. So we attack for 57. And then 50. And then 60. So then our opponent rides Blade Master. Obviously uses the skill on Burnout. We use the skill of Hustler to Soul Blast 1 and return the Illuminal to our hand, which is honestly everything that what makes the next play so, you know, saucy, just because he returned this Illuminal to our hand, so it's like we have to punish him with it. Pretty much, that's the mindset. So our opponent attacks our Vanguard. We no guard. He checks a heal. Our opponent takes the damage. We attack. Our opponent rides Illuminal Dragon. And then we attack Vanguard for 12. It would be a 1 to pass already, but he decides to PG. I don't know why. We attack with rear guard, then we attack with another rear guard. We attack for 28. Our opponent blocks it, so we use Illuminal to get the attack through. And then we use Kick to restand. Sorry guys, hiccups. But he does not top deck a grade 3. So basically we're not, you know, afraid in any way. He did think that he could Soul Blast and negate my PG with Red Dive Griffin. However, it does not really work against PGs. So we PG, our opponent takes no triggers. And then we take that last damage. We ride God Hand. And then we go in for the attack and we check a front and our opponent leaves the game. So that was the God Hand game 1. Game 2, we're playing against Nova Grappler, it seems. Also a God Hand deck. So our opponent goes and checks the heal. We check top 5. We get God Hand, so we have hella God Hands in our hand. We attack, and he damage techs 3 God Hands. And he does not have a grade 3 in his hand, so when he goes to draw for turn, he just leaves the game. Pretty typical, I guess. I mean, he still could have stayed around in the chance that he was gonna, or the hope that he was gonna obtain a God Hand, but he just didn't. Third game we're playing is Narukami. Our Narukami player G-Assist for grade 1 and just whiffs. We ride Fusing Striker and we attack. We get a front. And then we attack him. We do 3 damage. Our opponent G-Assist for grade 1 again. And whiffs the grade 1 search. So we get that game too. And then because those games were so whack, I did record a 4th game where normally I would only record 3. So this 4th game is against Narukami as well. We ride, we call, we attack. We just attack 3 times. Our opponent uses Cho-Oh to counterblast 1 and bind one of our rear guards. Checks top 5, gets Vanquisher, discards Vanquisher. Attacks with his rear guard and then attacks with Vanguard and it doesn't hit. We get Fusing Striker. And we go for the rush. And we get a draw trigger. So we attack rear guard, then we attack his Vanguard. He does use Gauntlet Buster to counterblast 1 to get rid of our whole field. We ride and then we check 3. And we are able to just deal him damage because I guess he didn't have the shield to block or something like that. Because we attacked him for the 2 crit. He blocked our Kick Typhoon, and then he couldn't block our 37k because all he has in his hand is 3 grade 3s and exactly 30 what would match 37k shield. So he was forced to take the attack, and he lost the game. But with that being said, that has been the FutureFight Vanguard video for God Hand. I hope you guys enjoyed this short, sweet video. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you guys like it. Comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the video, the deck, or your own deck version of God Hand, or, you know, just whatever. And then also be sure to check out our second channel, Let's Plays Animes, and check out our channel memberships if you guys want to support the channel that much more. Small note, I did make a slight adjustment to the channel membership perk options. So if you did have a channel membership before, it is going to be reset, because that's how it works. Whenever I reset my memberships, it resets the members. So you have to re-go back in and become a member again if you want to keep supporting the same way that you were before. But with that being said, this has been Josh from Cardfight Empire, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, guys.